Coming up next on KPBS Evening Edition, a look at San Diego's connection to al-Qaeda leader Anwar al-Awlaki, killed today by a missile strike in Yemen.
San Diego city clerk gets boxes full of signed petitions in support of a proposed pension reform initiative.
And San Diego's creative community is finding creative ways to deal with a tough economy. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Joanne Ferrian.
And I'm Dwayne Brown. Tomorrow will be the first day of a major shift in how California handles prison inmates.
We'll look at the issue coming up on our roundtable, but first, tonight's top stories. The story topping the national headlines tonight is also resonating here in San Diego. The death of one of al-Qaeda's top operatives. Anwar al-Awlaki was killed in a U.S. drone attack in Yemen today. President Obama says it's a major blow to al-Qaeda. Awlaki was a U.S.-born Muslim cleric who preached right here in San Diego. KPBS investigative reporter Amita Sharma says the trail of evidence pointing to the threat Awlaki posed to the United States started here in San Diego, where he had contact with some of the most infamous jihadists in American history. Amita, who were those men and what was Awlaki's relationship to them?
Well, the men were Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Midhar. They were the two San Diego-based hijackers who ultimately flew or helped fly a plane into the Pentagon on September 11th. But before those attacks, back in 2000, those men met regularly and privately inside a tiny room at the Al-Rabat Mosque in La Mesa with the imam at the time, who was Anwar al-Awlaki. And intelligence officials believed Awlaki provided them spiritual guidance for the impending attacks, basically absolving them of their sins, preparing them mentally for the attacks, and making sure that they were maintaining their cover in San Diego.
What's been the reaction by the local Muslim community to Awlaki's killing?
Well, I spoke to a member of the Council on American Islamic Relations, and he said, look, you know what? Mainstream Muslims all over this country deplored Awlaki for his espousal of violent jihad against the United States. But at the same time, something was lost here today, that he should have been brought back to the United States and been put on trial.
KPBS reporter Amita Sharma.
Supporters of a pension reform measure for the city of San Diego turned in thousands of petitions today. They want to qualify the measure for the June ballot. Joining us to talk about what comes next in the process is KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr. Katie, supporters of this measure say they've collected about 145,000 signatures. How many do they need to get the issue on the ballot?
Dwayne, they need to have more than 94,000 of those signatures deemed valid by the county registrar of voters. The registrar has 30 business days to validate those signatures. Councilman Carl DeMaio was a leading supporter of this initiative movement, and he dropped off those signatures today at the San Diego City Clerk's office.
Well, today, San Diego voters took matters into their own hands and have decided that they want to see an end to the city's pension crisis. They submitted 145,000 signatures to place on the ballot our comprehensive pension reform ballot measure for the June election. And if enacted, this ballot measure will close the current pension system in the city of San Diego and put city employees into pension benefits that are no better and no worse than the average taxpayer who's footing the bill.
The initiative would freeze the base pay for current city employees and switch most new hires to a 401k type retirement system.
So, Katie, what's the reaction of those opposed to the pension reform measure?
Well, union members think this is a terrible plan. They point out that San Diego is not enrolled in Social Security, so anyone with a 401k type of plan would be at the mercy of the stock market.
KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr.
Some miscommunication led to a lockdown of all Carlsbad Unified Schools today. Police say a parent got a lockdown warning that was meant for Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. The warning said someone with a gun might be on campus. The parent called the school district, which then locked down all schools so police could investigate. Nothing was found. So far, there's no word on why the message from Georgetown got delivered to a parent in Carlsbad. Today's scare came just 8 days before the anniversary of a shooting at Kelly Elementary School in Carlsbad.
Next week, San Diegans will get a chance to weigh in on SDG&E's request to raise our utility bills. The State Public Utilities Commission will hold a series of public hearings around the county. Those hearings will start Monday in Kearney Mesa. They'll be held at 2 in the afternoon and 7 at night. The utility is asking for more than $1 billion in rate increases over the next 4 years to handle increased costs. But independent analysts with the PUC say there should be a 3% revenue decrease. They made the recommendation after a 10-month study of SDG&E's costs. San Diego Chargers have a record of 2 wins and 1 loss heading into this weekend's football game at Qualcomm, but fans who can't get to the game will not be able to see the action live on television.
I need 6 tickets.
I got new school too. Yeah, this is new school.
We are here at Qualcomm Stadium in Mission Valley, where the only way to see the Chargers game against the Miami Dolphins on Sunday is to buy a ticket. That's because the third home game of the season won't be seen on local television. Chargers couldn't sell out the stadium, and as you can see behind me today, the line for tickets isn't very long. Why do you think the Chargers can't sell out their home games?
I don't understand that, because I grew up here, and my father, when I was 13, brought me to the very first game ever played here at the stadium. One of his best friends was Dick Post. He used to play San Diego for the San Diego Chargers. And so I don't understand, because the fans here have always been so good and so supportive of the team.
Because of the way they're playing. Phillip Rivers has 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and what is this, 3 games? That's the reason why. And their defenses, I mean, they're crappy pretty much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a Charger fan, but it's the way they're playing.
We're coming all the way from Utah to come down here, I think, because you have it here, and people are used to it. They just don't think about it. But we'd love to have a team where we are. We don't have anything, so we come up here and we get all excited. So maybe they just need to kind of get excited about it, and like I say, maybe just take it for granted a little bit because it's here.
The Chargers fell short of a sellout by 6,500 tickets.
Tonight on the Evening Edition Roundtable, we're taking a look at prison realignment and what that means for San Diego County. And this week, state regulators grounded SDG&E helicopters working on the Sunrise Powerlink project after a couple of accidents went unreported. Joining me to discuss these issues are my guests, Jeff McDonald, watchdog reporter for the San Diego Union-Tribune, and Allison St. John, senior metro reporter for KPBS. Now, Jeff, remind us first of all about this transmission line.
Well, it's about 120 miles long, stretching from Imperial County into Greater San Diego, and the idea is to beef up the utilities' ability to deliver electricity to a growing population in San Diego.
So what went wrong? What are the nature of these accidents?
Well, specifically, there were 2 tail rotor accidents, one in February, one in August, that were not reported to the state regulators. They were both relatively minor accidents, but nonetheless, they're required to be, the state regulators are required to be informed of these accidents. We found out about it last week, spent several days trying to nail down some facts, and reported the utility's failure to report the accidents over the weekend. Subsequent to that, the Public Utilities Commission issued a stop work order on the project for all helicopter-related construction.
So the missing link here is didn't go reported. You reported on it. Stop work order. At what point did SDG&E actually go and report these accidents then?
Well, it's not entirely clear. The utility first told us that they did report the incidents to the state, and then they reversed course the next day and said, well, they didn't specifically report those accidents, but they weren't required to, and nonetheless they were engaged in new discussions defining reporting requirements going forward. To its credit, the utility did alert the Federal Aviation Administration, which is investigating both accidents. But the state doesn't like being left out of the loop, and its enforcement action from this week shows that.
Now, SDG&E, really, if we look at the last couple of months, hasn't been easy, right, Allison? We've had the big blackout. They're asking for a rate increase. How do you see this playing out in the community and with the PUC in light of all of this?
Well, it certainly seems that, you know, their reputation was a little bit challenged by the blackout, and after all, it does seem a little odd that they would risk putting their reputation for transparency on the line by not informing the PUC of something that apparently they were supposed to inform them of. And the fact that it sounds from your reporting that there was a bit of confusion about whether they had reported it or not reported it, this certainly sort of raises questions about their transparency about this operation.
Well, excuse me, the utility says they're committed to safety, they're committed to following all the permit conditions, and they'll do whatever is required of them to get the project completed. That said, they did fail to report these two minor accidents. Nobody was hurt, and I think the regulators didn't like that. They did both happen prior to the blackout. One of the rotor strikes was in February and one was in August.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next big story this week. Overcrowding has become a problem at state prisons, but they are about to law begins this weekend, and within the next few months, more than 4,000 prisoners who would have been in state custody will be jailed and monitored in San Diego County. Now, Allison, this has been your story for the last several weeks. Remind us again about realignment and what that specifically means.
Realignment was a word I didn't know what it meant in January, but what it means is that the state, both the budget, which is in crisis, and the prisons, which are in crisis. The prisons are under a court order to reduce the number of prisoners. They're already about 200% capacity. So realignment means that the state is handing responsibility over to the counties for many of their inmates, both in terms of incarceration in county jails and in terms of monitoring. Instead of the state parole department, it will be the county probation department that keeps an eye on them.
And let's clarify for our audience, tomorrow realignment happens, but it doesn't mean that 4,000 inmates en masse get released and come to San Diego. What does it mean?
No, that's exactly right. In fact, this weekend, about 260 people who have completed their terms in state prison will arrive back in San Diego, and instead of being monitored by the state parole department, they will be the responsibility of the county probation department. So basically the county is hiring 75 extra probation officers because over time there will be about 2,000 of these prisoners arriving in our community needing monitoring.
So this is also, there's been a big change in terms of what this county wants to do with these inmates. Not all of them necessarily, when they're convicted of certain crimes, will go to county jail, will they? This county is now saying maybe we're going to let them serve their time at home. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that's accurate. Altogether, there'll be 4,000 coming. 2,000, they say, may go to jail. 2,000 will be remaining in the community being monitored. And I think the strategy really, because the jails only have 800 spaces, is to find an alternative way of sentencing the offenders so that they can be monitored, so that before they are sentenced, they spend less time in jail, and so that when they come out, sometimes they can come out early if they get a split sentence and basically serve it in their living rooms with perhaps a GPS device to monitor them.
And quickly, Jeff, before we go, this is really different than what California's been doing for the last 30 years, hasn't it?
It's very different, yes. I think the big concern among crime victim groups is that the analysis that the state does to determine whether a prisoner is nonviolent or not, if that's not done correctly, then there could be a bigger threat to the community, public safety-wise. Because they need to make sure that the people they do put on these reduced probation or reduced oversight status are really not presenting a threat to the community.
Jeff McDonald, San Diego Union Tribune, and Allison St. John, KPBS reporter, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Seeing light in a different light, it's the subject of a new exhibit here in San Diego. It's a different way to look at your surroundings. We'll have the story from our culture desk in just a moment, right here on KPBS Evening Edition.
Tonight on KPBS, at 8, the nation's top journalists come together in Washington for analysis of international events and politics on Washington Week with host Gwen Eiffel. Then at 8:30, broadcast media and the web unite for a compelling hour of storytelling on Need to Know. And at 9, the versatile British actor Hugh Laurie showcases his musical side in New Orleans on great performances. That's tonight on KPBS. Next time on Doc Martin, Marigold is cooking up something with Bert in the kitchen.
No need to pluck it.
So you're not a pheasant plucker then?
Oh, no, but I know how to undress a bird.
And Louisa's midwife wants a water birth.
Faith.
But the doc's not buying it.
You're not seriously considering giving birth in this harpies paddling pool, are you?
On Doc Martin, Thursdays at 9 on KPBS. KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Erwin Jacobs and by
Welcome back to KPBS Evening Edition. All week, we've been looking at the impact of the economy on San Diego. The downturn has hit many aspects, including the arts. The city's Commission for Arts and Culture says that since 2008, there's been a 17% drop in the combined contributed and earned income for the arts community. From our culture desk, Beth Accomando speaks with some San Diego arts organizations about the creative solutions they've invented to deal with the downturn in the economy.
Roxana Velasquez took on the job of executive director of the San Diego Museum of Art just over a year ago, and in the midst of a recession. She faced the challenge by quoting Albert Einstein.
Exactly, the crisis moments are the opportunity moments. Let us see what happens when the problems exist and when you don't have everything solved. I am convinced that when you have everything solved, you get a little lazy.
Victoria Hamilton of the San Diego Commission for Arts and Culture says San Diego's arts organizations are anything but lazy.
I'm a very optimistic person, and it's easy to be optimistic when we look around and see the quality of the arts and culture institutions we have in town.
At the Museum of Art, Velasquez acknowledges that they were impacted by the downturn in the economy and initially reacted by making cuts. But then they started developing more creative solutions.
So the museum created 2 impressive shows out of their own collection. They saved money, right, regarding transportation, insurance, curatorial things. They took wonderful collections like the Toulouse-Lautrec that was here exhibiting for several months and had great numbers of attendance. Also, the society had this sense of pride when they learned that those pieces belong to this San Diego collection.
Pride and ownership is also important over at the La Jolla Playhouse, says Managing Director Michael Rosenberg.
Our ongoing commitment to new work, I think, has been strengthened during this time. We're actually on the set right now of a brand new play that we commissioned, that we developed, and when it's done here at the end of September, we'll go on to a New York theater.
Moving plays such as Milk Like Sugar from San Diego to New York is good for both the Playhouse and San Diego.
Right now, you can see a production that was born at the Playhouse in New York, in London, in Las Vegas, in Sydney, Australia, and on a national tour. And in another month, we will have 3 shows running on Broadway, and we will have 3 shows touring the country. You know, at every one of those shows around the world, everybody who goes to see that show is handed a program. And on the title page of that program, it says that this show was born at the La Jolla Playhouse.
So not only does the Playhouse continue to collect revenues from shows that have left its theater, but these exported productions help draw tourists to San Diego, where they can see the shows here before anyone else in the world. Victoria Hamilton sees additional innovation across the arts community.
People are being smarter about collaborations, marketing strategies, using new technology, Facebook, Twitter.
You know, you can look for shows that you saw here at the Playhouse, and you say, oh, I love Bonnie and Clyde. Where is it now?
The Playhouse engages people on the internet and through social media. It also pools resources with colleagues like the San Diego Rep to bring plays like Anna Devere Smith's Let Me Down Easy to San Diego. That play dealt with the important issue of health care.
I want to apologize, but we can't find your records.
which is an incredible look at healthcare in America, a conversation that's important nationally and also really important to San Diego, since so much of our economy deals with, medical science, healthcare, technology, those sorts of issues.
This is an example of not only an innovative collaboration to save money, but also of connecting to the community in a way that draws people in and makes them see the value of the arts in society.
I think we find ourselves at a really interesting point in American history where we may be in a period where we're looking at hard times that go on for a while. And I think what will be interesting about that is what it does to the art we produce and how vibrant that art is, and what it does to the partnerships we create to weather this storm.
That was KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando. This Saturday, the Commission for Arts and Culture will host Fall for the Arts, a free event celebrating arts and culture on San Diego Bay with an opportunity to directly interact with dozens of arts and cultural organizations.
When we think of art, we often think of a painting or a photograph, but in the 1960s, a group of Southern California artists used art as a way to experience light and space. KPBS culture reporter Angela Carone says their work will be on display in a new exhibit at the Museum of Contemporary Art, San Diego.
The light in Southern California can be breathtaking, even inspiring. And for a group of artists working in our region during the 1960s, it inspired a movement.
They would spend hours studying where the light passed through the window and moved around the room and try to capture something from that natural experience.
The artists in what became known as the light and space movement created art that looked and felt different than anything that had come before it. This was art that didn't require a frame or even a wall to hang it on.
They took art into a new plane, a new dimension, to do with perception. And art at the end of the day is all about perception.
Artists like Robert Irwin, James Turrell, and Doug Wheeler created experiential art, works that took over an entire room and used light to focus and heighten the viewer's awareness. This piece by Wheeler feels like you're enveloped in a cloud.
They're asking the viewer to take some time and get a sense of their feeling in the space that they're in and their kind of engagement with the piece, walking around it, inhabiting it if it's a space rather than an object. And it's really about a kind of contemplative consideration of your own perception of your surroundings.
The work of 13 light, space, and surface artists is currently on view in all three of the Museum of Contemporary Art San Diego's locations, making it the largest exhibit the museum has ever mounted.
Larry Bell's piece, which is in the Jacobs Gallery, is a wonderful demonstration of light and space and surface.
Bell is one of the artists in the show who explores perception through the surface of his sculptures.
And it's very confusing as you move through it and see other people move around it, because you're never quite sure whether you're seeing what's behind you or whether you're looking through it.
The fact that the ceiling is so high, it allows the piece to stand in a kind of magical, mystical presence. It gives the piece a chance to have light coming at it from different kinds of sources, from two different main directions, and the white walls incorporate themselves into the reflection of the piece. It's a fabulous space for this thing.
The exhibit is part of a larger initiative by the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. 60 museums up and down the coast are showing art from post-war Los Angeles. Davies says MCASD's show is a significant part of that history.
The light, space, and surface movement is, to me, the most important native art movement to come out of Southern California.
That was KPBS culture reporter Angela Carone. Phenomenal California light, space, and surface will be on view through January at the Museum of Contemporary Art, San Diego.
And you can take in some aerial artistry at the MCAS Miramar this weekend. The Miramar Air Show is underway. This year's theme is A Salute to San Diego, Birthplace of Naval Aviation. The three-day event features performances by the Navy's Blue Angels, the Marine Air Ground Task Force, and the Army Golden Knights Parachute Team. Admission is free unless you want reserved seating. You have to pay for that. Last year, about 700,000 people went to the air show.
A recap of today's top stories in just a moment.
and what you think about the cost of going to a Chargers game. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
It was meant to shield us from the evils of drink. Instead, it triggered a wave of corruption.
Some call it bootlegging. I call it a business.
And violence.
There's bullets flying. It's like Dodge City here.
As a nation built on rights.
Everyone is breaking the law.
How did we go so wrong?
The average American says, who are you to tell me how to live?
From Ken Burns, Prohibition. Starting Sunday, October 2nd on PBS.
Hi, I'm Elsa Sevilla. If you find yourself hearing about a great program on KPBS after it's already aired, we have a solution. Get notified about your favorite TV programs on KPBS before they air by subscribing to the TV Highlights email alert. This daily email will feature the best programs coming up right here on KPBS TV, so you can make a date to tune in or plan to record it. It's easy to register. Just go to kpbs.org/alerts.
Welcome back to KPBS Evening Edition. Tonight on the Public Square, your responses to the cost of a Chargers game. A report by the NFL found the average cost of a family of four to go to a game was about $430. Too much? Well, Sarah on Facebook thinks so. She writes, is it really necessary to charge so much? And Dan says, at $60 for a cheap seat, I'm not surprised. Well, earlier this week, we reported the sewage spill caused by the blackout was much larger than believed, more than 3.5 million gallons, most of it spilling into the Los Penasquitos Creek. And it took 4 days for crews to begin cleanup of the creek. We have an update now. The California Regional Water Quality Board has issued an investigative order to the city of San Diego regarding the spill. The order requires the city to provide a full explanation of that spill. If you have comments about this story or anything else you saw tonight, there are several ways to reach us. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and of course, you can always email us. We'd love to hear from you.
Recapping tonight's top stories, a local Muslim civil rights group is challenging the U.S. government's decision to kill al-Qaeda leader Anwar al-Awlaki in a drone attack in Yemen. More than a decade ago, he was an imam at a La Mesa mosque. Today, supporters of a pension reform initiative turned in 145,000 signatures to get the issue on the ballot. That's nearly 50,000 more than they needed to qualify. The measure would change pension benefits for most new San Diego City employees. And there will be plenty of action in the sky over San Diego this weekend. The Miramar Air Show is now underway. The Navy's Blue Angels are some of the featured performers. The air show continues through Sunday. You can watch and comment on any of the stories you saw tonight on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition.
Thanks for watching us. Have a great weekend. We leave you now with a look at the forecast.
Good night.